For a mind-boggling 150 million years, dinosaurs were the kings of the planet. I mean, they were some of the most successful creatures in Earth's history. But when we picture them, are we actually getting the story right? What really separates a dinosaur from any other giant reptile? Well, let's dig in and find out. We've all seen incredible scenes like this, right? In a movie or a museum, a baryonyx, just casually snapping a fish out of the river. You can almost feel the power, the size, the teeth. But images like this, as amazing as they only tell part of the story. So what truly defined these animals? It's a pretty simple question on the surface, but the answer is surprisingly interesting. See, it's not just about being big, scaly, and, extinct. There's a specific checklist, a set of rules that paleontologists use to separate the true dinosaurs from all the other prehistoric creatures out there. So what's actually on that official checklist? Let's put on our paleontologist hats for a minute and go through the key features that separate the real-deal dinos from all the imposters. Okay, the single biggest clue is probably something you wouldn't even think to look for. It's all about their posture. Look at a lizard or a crocodile today. Their legs kind of sprawl out to the side. Dinosaurs, though, had a totally upright stance, with their legs directly underneath their bodies, kind of like a horse. And this wasn't just some random detail. It was the secret to their power and their speed. And beyond that stance, the list gets even more specific. I mean, of course, they all had a backbone, but it's the little things like their ankles. They were flexible, almost like a hinge, built for moving fast in a straight line. We also know from studying their bone tissue that they grew incredibly fast. And yep, get this, a lot of them had feathers, not just scales. It's this whole unique package that means flying pterosaurs and swimming plesiosaurs, they don't make the cut. They're amazing prehistoric reptiles for sure, but they were not dinosaurs. Okay, so we have our checklist, but how on earth do we know about the ankles and posture of an animal that's been extinct for 66 million years? Well, the answer lies with the ultimate cold case detectives, paleontologists. Paleontology is basically the science of uncovering ancient life, but I like to think of it as solving a giant three-dimensional puzzle where most of the pieces are missing and the ones you do have literally turned to stone. It's this incredible mix of geology, biology, and chemistry. So here's the crucial thing. Becoming a fossil is unbelievably rare. An animal has to die in the perfect spot, get buried super quickly by mud or sand, and then just lie there, undisturbed, for millions of years while its bones slowly mineralize into rock. Only then, if erosion uncovers it at just the right time, can it finally be found. The odds are just astronomical. And finding them is really just the beginning. The real work is so painstaking and delicate. You've got paleontologists out there under the hot sun, using tools you'd probably find in an artist studio, little brushes and dental picks, to carefully free every single irreplaceable clue from the rock. Finding the clues is one thing, but to really understand the story of the dinosaurs, you have to know when they lived. We need a kind of calendar for this deep, deep history. To even try and grasp the immense scale of Earth's history, try thinking of it like a 12-hour clock. On this clock, the first complex life doesn't even show up until after 6 p.m. Dinosaurs appear around 10:40 p.m. And humans? We show up in the very last second before midnight. Kind of puts things into perspective, doesn't it? The dinosaurs' time on that clock is called the Mesozoic era. It's basically split into 3 distinct acts. You've got the Triassic, when the first kind of small dinosaurs show up. Then comes the Jurassic, when they evolve into giants and completely rule the planet. And finally, the Cretaceous, a period of just incredible diversity right before that big asteroid came and dropped the curtain. But dinosaur isn't a one-size-fits-all term. The dinosaur world was unbelievably diverse. So to make sense of it all, paleontologists split their entire family tree into 2 major branches. And believe it or not, the entire dinosaur family tree splits based on just one body part, their hips. Seriously. On one side, you have the Saurischians, or lizard-hipped, and that group includes all the famous carnivores and the giant longnecks. On the other side are the Ornithischians, or bird-hipped, and they were all herbivores. But here's the amazing twist. Modern birds actually evolved from the lizard-hipped group, not the bird-hipped one. It's just a fantastic quirk of evolution. And here are 2 perfect examples from opposite sides of that family. You've got Tyrannosaurus, a textbook Saurischian from that lizard-hipped group, and then you have Triceratops, a classic Ornithischian from the bird-hipped branch. One, a two-legged carnivore, the other, a four-legged herbivore. It just shows how that one little difference in their hips sent them down two completely different evolutionary paths. And within those two branches, evolution just went wild. You had living fortresses like the ankylosaurs, walking skyscrapers like the sauropods, and this huge variety of theropods. And it was that last group that managed to survive the extinction. They just kept shrinking down, growing wings, and eventually became the birds we see in our backyards today. But here's the real twist in this whole investigation. What we think we know can change. For decades, scientists found this sharp, spiky bone with iguanodon fossils and figured it had to be a horn on its nose. Makes sense, right? But then, later discoveries revealed it wasn't a nose horn at all. It was actually a defensive thumb spike. It's a perfect reminder that science is always a process of discovery. And that really leaves us with a final amazing thought. Every new fossil that gets pulled from the ground has the potential to rewrite everything we know. Our picture of the past is never finished. It really makes you wonder, what other incredible secrets are still buried right beneath our feet, just waiting to be found?